Am I the asshole for forcing my diet on my boyfriend? I'm from France originally, and I moved to the States almost 2 years ago. Now for some reason, the food here makes me sick. Not in an, ew, that's gross kind of way, but actually physically sick. My body seems to struggle to digest it. Whether it's takeout or fancy restaurant food. Either I can't go to the bathroom for days, or I'm violently vomiting. I tried dealing with it for months and months, but I started losing weight very quickly because I couldn't eat. I ended up developing a serious aversion to food, and my family recommended I go and speak to a specialist. I had never had a problem back home, and I was terrified I was seriously ill. So I went to multiple doctors where I was poked and prodded and I had multiple tests done. They have all said nothing is wrong with me physically. I spoke to a dietitian and he explained that my body is probably not used to the amount of salt and preservatives that is found in the food in the States. Please don't think I'm bashing the US. I love it here and it's a great country. My dietitian recommended fresh and organic produce to see how my body coped, and to my delight, I improved. I stopped vomiting and I was able to start slowly putting weight back on. I started making meals from scratch and meal prepping to save time throughout the week. My dad is actually a chef back home, so he was more than happy to send me some recipes to keep my diet interesting. I made a delicious vegetarian lasagna from scratch, and put it in the oven to cook. My boyfriend, American, came home after work and asked what was for dinner. I said I was making a veggie lasagna. He rolled his eyes and said he was sick of that organic crap, and wanted a cheeseburger. The comment hurt. I made a real effort at meal times to keep it varied so we're not always eating the same thing. I said I couldn't make one because I didn't even have any burger buns. He said it was unfair to make him eat my diet. I had never realized he was opposed to it. He benefited from home-cooked meals and I had seen that his clothes were fitting him better. He had more energy and he didn't sleep so much on the weekends. I apologized and said I didn't mean to make him feel forced. Am I the asshole for forcing my diet on him? Girl, you aren't forcing him to do anything. He's a grown man with 2 feet, he can go get a burger. You should force his ass out the door because you don't deserve to be talked to like that. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You're not forcing your diet on him. He can go out and buy himself a cheeseburger. Or make it himself. He's the asshole for expecting you to cook food for him that you can't even eat. He is grown. He can make his own food. He can feed his own self. You are not responsible for feeding a grown man because he doesn't want to put in the effort. Not the asshole. You aren't forcing your diet on him. You're simply cooking what you can eat and you are kind enough to share with him. If he wants a cheeseburger, he can figure out his way around the kitchen. You're his girlfriend, not his mom. Not the asshole. If he has complaints about the food, he can make his own dinner. Because this totally happened, what in the world have you been eating since you've been in the US? Am I the asshole for not catering to my nephew's pickiness? My sister-in-law is staying with us for a few months while they move and it's been tough. I work from home while she's a stay-at-home mom, so she's home with me and her kids. Honestly, I don't mind them here much. My kid loves her cousins and it's nice having someone to talk to at home during the day. But the tough part is cooking for them. Not only am I cooking for double the amount I'm used to, I also have to figure out what to make for them. Usually, I cook one dish and we all eat it. No complaints or choice otherwise because that's how I grew up and I never saw a problem with it. I don't force feed, just set the bowl in front of them and they eat as much as they want. It's great. My daughter eats everything and rarely expresses she doesn't like something. As a 3-year-old, she does occasionally lol. My sister-in-law's kids are very picky. They don't like tomato sauce, they don't like veggies, they don't like melted cheese, they don't like mayo on their burger but sandwich is fine, they don't like soggy cereal. I can go on and on. Every day, I try to make something they like. I made pancakes. My sister-in-law is like, oh, what recipe did you use? My oldest only eats a specific recipe. When he walks in, she goes over the top to explain to this 6-year-old that this is a different recipe and he'll have to try it. He refuses to try it until she forces him to take a bite and he throws a fit because he doesn't like it. The rest of the kids are eating quietly at the table. Any meal I make, I'm already expecting her to say something about it. Yesterday, I made sliders hoping that would be fine. Nope, she asked me to make half of them specific to the older child's taste. No cheese or sauce, just bread and meat. He still didn't eat it. Because he didn't know about the taste. Anyway, I've been already cooking with way less vegetables than I usually do and I'm at my wit's end. But I refuse to cook mac and cheese boxes and no sauce pizza every night. My freezer and pantry are all filled with processed food and snacks that we usually don't have because her kids don't snack on fruits and veggies. They snack on chips and donuts. I wish I was kidding, but I haven't seen her kids consume any fruit or veggies for the past few days. So, am I the asshole for not catering to their pickiness? I'm trying to keep balanced meals for my own family and I refuse to change that just because they don't want to eat it. Why are you the one cooking when she's a stay-at-home mom staying with you for free? Not the asshole. They don't like melted cheese. Are they defective? When he walks in, she goes over the top to explain to this 6-year-old that this is a different recipe and he'll have to try it. There's the issue. She's the one basically training him to be picky. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but let her feed her own kids. You're housing them already, why are you responsible for feeding them too? Make one meal and ask your sister-in-law to stop the commentary on it. She can choose to make something else if she likes, but she needs to feed it to her kids separately from your family meal because it's damaging your family's healthy habits. WTF, stop feeding her child. She can cook or he can starve. Why are you cooking for them? Isn't your sister-in-law a stay-at-home mom? Why can't she cook for her kids? Even for you sometimes, like a thank you for letting us stay at your home? Not the asshole. Stop being their private chef. Do what you always did. If they don't like it, they can cook for themselves. Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding because I never got my dream wedding? All while growing, my parents would talk up me and my sister's wedding. They said that their wedding was by far one of the best days of their lives and they wanted to be able to give that to their kids. So all this time while growing up they had binders saving accounts purely to plan our dream no matter the cost we could enact our visions. Fast forward to last year when me and my now wife were engaged and I came to my parents to begin planning the wedding. They sat me down and explained that COVID and the economy in recent years has disrupted business quite badly and things weren't looking great and they wouldn't be able to afford it. I was heartbroken but I understood and we instead had a low-key affair. Fast forward to yesterday after my little sister got engaged, my family and my wife and her fiancé went out to celebrate and the topic of the wedding came up and my mum pulled out the binder and started talking up her wedding, talking about all the extravagant things they would do. I didn't say anything but I slowly kinda realized that it didn't really make sense that they could afford her wedding and not mine. When we got home I confronted my mom and she kinda dodged it and went, "Maybe it's for the best you had a more intimate wedding considering the circumstances." I asked what that meant and she shrugged me off. When my sister approached me to ask if I'd like to be her maid of honor, I flat out told her that I wasn't going to her wedding and explained why. She got upset and told me that I wasn't making her day about me and to grow up. And honestly at this point I do really feel like a dick and now she refuses to speak to me. Aida? Edit. People are telling me to add that my sister refused to be my maid of honor because she didn't feel comfortable as it's important to the context. Edit. For those wondering, I have now flat out asked my mum, is it because I'm gay that I didn't get the wedding? She told me not to play the gay card and that if I'm not adult enough to understand that they simply could at the time, then maybe they shouldn't leave the family business to me. My sister also said she felt uncomfortable with the idea of managing my big day with me. Alright, upset. I fear that the YTAS are missing the homophobic bigoted point. Fully not the asshole that your parents refused to give you your dream wedding, and shame on your sister for glossing over that part just because she's getting hers. It's giving homophobia and using COVID as an excuse. Sorry you had to find out this way, but your whole family are bigots. Your parents didn't fully approve of your marriage. That's why they wouldn't follow through with the lifelong planning they had hyped up to you. And your sister refused to be your mo because she also did not approve of you having a wife. Not the asshole solely because I think you're gonna have a lot of unpacking to do here. Not the asshole, op, and you should edit your original post to include that your sister wouldn't be in your wedding party because she was uncomfortable. Not the asshole. Op's parents promised this and reneged due to their homophobia. How sister can feel good about this is insane. I'd never have a lavish all-out wedding when my sibling got shit because she was a lesbian. This is on sister, too emo. Op is married to a woman. Op was asked to be a maid of honor, indicating Op is also a woman. Womp. There it is. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for giving the UPS driver water and a snack? Update. Wow, I didn't expect this many responses. There's really not much of an update here, but there's a few things I'd like to add that I keep seeing. 1. I reviewed my camera footage, and my daughter and I gave him the water bottle and snacks on Thursday at 9:12 p.m. 2. He came back on Monday of the following week, around 6 p.m. to have his wife chew me out. 4. No, he didn't have a package for me, just parked in front of my driveway and rang the doorbell. 5. To those saying I should report him, I've thought about it, but I don't want him to lose his job. He knows where I live, and if he told his wife about me giving him a water bottle, he's capable of giving her my address. 6. This same UPS man has met my husband. I'm shocked he really couldn't tell his wife that I'm also married and I was just being nice. He even asked about my dog once when he came to my door and needed a signature. 7. To those also saying this is fake, I wish it was. I honestly wanted to laugh and give his wife my peace of mind too. I genuinely thought that when he put her on speaker, she was gonna say thank you for giving him a water, but nope, took a hard left. I even looked around like the characters from The Office looking for a camera thinking, this is a joke, right? My mom taught me to be respectful to elders, as this man could very well be my dad, so I let her say her piece and I called it a day. Thank you all for being so kind to me. I'll consider leaving the snacks out again. I just don't like leaving them out in the summer as it's so hot, but with temperatures rising, I'll probably do what some people have suggested of freezing the drinks instead. I appreciate all of the kind words. To set the scene, I, 32F, usually give my postal workers snacks or waters around the holidays, but in the summer, I like to grab drinks from the fridge and hand it to them directly because they get hot if I let them sit outside. Last week, my usual UPS driver, 60-ish M, came to drop off a delivery for my front neighbor. It must have been around 9 p.m. because it was darkish outside. He parked in front of my house, and when I noticed him, I thought, I'll go hand him a water and snack since it's so hot outside. He was on the phone with his wife, and when he saw me he went, oh, let me ask my wife if I can take it. Honey, can I take a water from a customer? He then proceeds takes the sealed water bottle and snack, says thank you, and I walk away. Yesterday, he rang my doorbell. I come out and say hi. He then asks if he can speak to me while mumbling something on his headset. Conversation went like this. Him. She's right here, honey, I'm gonna put you on speaker. Me. Hello, wife. I mean, as long as you tell her what you needed to tell her, then that's it. Him. She's listening to you, go ahead. Me. Hello, wife. As a married woman, I don't appreciate you giving my husband water or anything. Me. Oh, I usually give my UPS, USPS, postal workers snacks or water around the holidays, and especially right now since it's so hot and they're out here so late. Wife. Well, as a married woman, I don't like that. And he didn't even have a package for you. You walked out and looked for him. I thought he was at a business making deliveries. Let me take care of my husband. I thought it was a joke, I'm NGL. I let her finish her rant. Me. Well, he was making a delivery to my front neighbors, but you know what, I apologize. I will never give your husband anything else from here on out, have a good day. He then proceeded to say thanks and walked away. Didn't say anything else. Mind you, this man is our usually UPS driver. When he drives by, he honks and waves, loves grabbing snacks around the holidays, so I was completely caught off guard with the wife going off on me. I was just trying to be nice to. So, am I the asshole for handing over a water and snack to the UPS driver? Not the asshole, wife. As a married woman, I don't appreciate you giving my husband water or anything. As a fucking stranger, I don't quite care what you do or do not appreciate. Not the asshole, and that lady is nuts. Talk about insecure in a relationship. Bet she spends a lot of time thinking about all those pornos of the delivery guy getting laid by some random woman on his route. He appreciated it, and that's all that matters on your end. This is really more between him and his wife. Keep being a good person. Should have asked him if he needs help escaping his abusive wife. Not the asshole. You were just being nice and kind and thinking of other people's feelings, especially considering how hot it's been and how hard they work in the heat. Offering food and drinks to the delivery drivers is a really sweet thing to do and shows you're a kind-hearted person. Never lose that about yourself. His wife is probably an insecure middle-aged woman who isn't used to people being so generous to someone who just works postal. She probably sees it as flirting and doesn't know how to react to it and wants it to stop. And honestly, he was most likely forced to do it by his wife. He most likely didn't want it to escalate to that extent, but it did. I'm sure he feels so embarrassed. You did nothing wrong. Not the asshole. What grown-ass man has to ask his wife if he can take the water and snack in the first place? Does he call her before he gets to your house over the holidays? Honey, I'm almost to that house that always has bomb snacks, can I take one? Can I? That's an abusive marriage right there. Poor guy.